I'm going to talk about aggression and some tips on how to deal with it, and later videos, a few videos on case histories of dogs I've seen that were really aggressive. I've never, in all the years I've been doing this, I've never spoken about how to deal with aggressive dogs, because what I do will get people bitten if you do it wrong. And so there's a good chance, if you follow my advice now, you'll get bitten. So I'll give you some tips, and it's up to you, you've been warned. But for 15 years, I've just been asked constantly, can you give us some advice about how to deal with an aggressive dog, particularly from some beginner trainers, so they can deal with them. And I've always said no, but I've got to a certain age now when I think, oh, bugger it, you've got common sense. if you don't know what to do, you don't know what to do wrong. So you'll be doing wrong things anyway. I'll just give it a go. and it's only a few tips, because every case is live in the moment, and you never know when it's going to go apeshit. And my arms here, I tried to count one day all the scars on my arms, and I got to 36 and gave up. So it's over 36, but probably under 45. That's a lot of scars over the years, and they're all from medium size to small dogs. I've got a few bigger scars on my legs from the big dogs, but I've still got my arms, so obviously I haven't done the wrong thing with a pit bull. I haven't been that stupid. I'll talk about breeds first. If you want a family dog, you've got to look at the breeds. So if you get a pit bull, don't be surprised if it wants to kill dogs. That's what it's bred for. If you get a protection dog like an Alsatian, Rottweiler, Ridgeback, and they start protecting, that's what they're bred to do. And they're very dangerous dogs. So my advice is, don't have them for a family dog at all. No matter what your friends say, what you see on Facebook, the ones you had before that were soft, you only need the one to go wrong, and your children have only got one face for you to experiment on, and then that gets bitten, it's for life. So I would always go, if I've got a family, a young family, me personally, I think we should go for a small dog, because if they do get aggressive, like one of the most aggressive dogs there is a Jack Russell, but you can pick a Jack Russell up by his scuff of its neck and it's going, you're not going to lose your leg on it or your arm. You try doing that with a Ridgeback, it's not going to work, is it? So common sense comes into it, and when I teach you what I do, I'm a hands-on trainer. That's why I get bit sometimes, because I touch dogs. And I'll teach you methods not touching dogs. Well, I won't teach you. I'm just going to give some tips. I can't teach you. You'd have to come to 100 consultations with me to really get the hang of it and take your chances. But if you're going to be a personal dog trainer, you're going to get bit, unless you're useless. And I've got some good cases to talk about where they've had 3 personal trainers who haven't even touched the dog. They've been totally useless, so you've got to be able to touch them. And what else did I have down there, Margaret? To just do an introduction, this introduction video of I'm going to bring up on the other videos.
What, you mean about aggression?
Yeah. What did I have written down?
Nervous.
Nerves. Oh, yeah, you've got the different kinds. And I'm not like most owners, most trainers say most aggression comes from anxious, nervous dogs. They call them anxious dogs, I call them nervous dogs. They're called anxious because it sounds better, I think. No one wants to say their dog's nervous. But I don't disagree with that entirely. I reckon, in my experience, 40% of the dogs I see are aggressive just because they want to be aggressive. Not because they're nervous.
You've mentioned before that aggression is natural.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. It's not, don't be frightened to admit your dog's aggressive. Don't say, oh, it's not aggressive, it's just does this. If it's aggressive, it's aggressive. If it tries to bite, if it's going growling, that's aggression. And that's normal. Just about every puppy will growl and bite over food when it's a youngster, because that's how they get things. And nearly every puppy growing up at some point is going to growl and try and bite, and the good ones will just try and bite gently, but you've got to stop that. So it's just normal. They can't have an argument with you any other way. So it's not something to be ashamed of if your dog's aggressive. They all are.
So if someone does have a relatively new puppy and it is showing some food aggression, then what's a couple of tips to start them off?
Tell them off for it. That's the only way to stop it. It's no good diverting with other food. That's why treat training is never going to work. How can your dog's eating its food and it's growling at your kids because they walk by. You can't control kids totally. They've got to walk around the house. And I've had dogs, many dogs, they will guard, if you let food aggression go, they will guard where they think their food is. You know, if you're giving them a bone and they take it down the garden and you take it away, they would guard the bush, some dogs, where you took it away from and bite your kids as they walk by. So you've got to deal with it, and the only way to deal with it is to tell them off. You can't treat train a dog that's guarding food. Oh, here's some better food. Over here, and then grab it. Although a lot of people do that, they get bored and try. That's not going to keep you safe. No dog should ever bite you. You know, you get dogs. You've got to control your kids, of course. It's no good having wild kids that jump on your kids.
And your dogs.
And your dogs. Yeah. Perhaps I've had too much of this. Or perhaps I'm just permanently pissed. Yeah, you've got to control your kids as well as your dog. But if you take a look, little Keely down there, 4 kilo, she bites your kids, they're going to have a little puncture mark. If your 40 kilo dog bites your kid's in serious trouble. I think that'd be about wrapping it up. Is there anything more we've got to add to that?
To puppy aggression, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, did you finish everything you wanted to say about nervousness and aggression?
Oh no, yeah, the nervous dogs, they can be the most dangerous, because if you've got a real nervous dog, they snap without thinking. So if you go like that and touch them when they're hyped, they're round and they're not even thinking, and they know this. As soon as they do it, they go, oh, sorry. But so you want a nice steady dog, but there's so many nervous dogs around, you have to learn to deal with it and get them to that state where if the kid falls on top of them, they yelp and run rather than yelp and bite. The purely aggressive dogs, the dominant ones, if you can dominate them, they often come good. Those ones, apart from certain breeds, they've got so much dominance and aggression bred into them, you don't want them around.
Well, just list again those breeds that are naturally dominant and naturally likely to bite if they're under the gun.
Right. Rottweilers, Ridgebacks, all the pig dogs, pit bulls and all the bull types, cattle dogs, Jack Russells, it's a long list. Cocker Spaniels, they can be some of the worst. Some of the Labradors strains nowadays, they're not all soft now, some of them. French Bulldogs, that comes under the bull category. Dachshunds. That's about it for the terrier group. The other terriers can do it, and some of the fluffies, but the fluffies are pretty. As soon as you turn them off, they normally come good straight away. But Dachshunds and Jack Russells might be a bit harder. There's probably a lot more in there, but the best one is absolutely here in Australia, Kevoodoos. I have not met an aggressive one yet to humans. You get lead aggression going crazy, but they're not really aggressive. So they're my number one for if you want a safe dog. But I like cattle dogs for robust boys, but you've got to watch them because they're territorial. They bite you. The intruders, which your intruders might be your friends in their eyes. Oh, and Chihuahuas. I've got a case study on a Chihuahua because they can be naturally aggressive. They've been in their past. They were supposed to bite people who were trying to pickpocket your handbag. That's why they're carried around. You think of any more?
No, that's about covered it, I think.
All right. So the next one, I'll give a case study of a big dog type who didn't like any of their friends coming in the house, and he sat there glaring and growling at them. And then he got to a point where he leapt at their friends as they tried to leave aggressively, and that one come over to me and rested his big huge head between my legs and started growling. So that was fun. So I think for now, that little short intro that'll do. And so it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from
Me.